Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. Yes, I'm back. I took the week off to spend some time with my mom for her birthday, but I'm back. As you can see, I'm not on location. And unfortunately, I'm with a couple of other goofballs as well. Say hi, guys.
Turn our mics on first. Hey.
I did. Wake up, Zach. I've got this.
There was a little bit of a delay. I understood what you were saying, Zach.
I put him on mute for just a little bit anyway on purpose. You never quite know what's going on behind the scenes back there in the curtain.
No.
But anyway, good to be. Yeah, I know. Good to be back on the show, and glad you guys could join us. Hopefully, we got the other guys. They've all got stuff going on this evening, like all of us do, because we're coaches and we do stuff all the time. Schedules are a little tough. That's kind of why we kind of decided to do, we'll probably do some Zoom episode kind of things like this. And then that way it's easier for us to make sure we have a show so we don't cheat you guys out of the free entertainment that we provide, cheap free entertainment that Coach Rhodes loves to sit down and enjoy. You don't even have to pay for cable to watch this stuff. And I mean, that's the best, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if you heard or not, but school's back in session for some of us, and we're getting ready for some fall sports.
School's in session?
School's in session.
Where you been, Jason?
Well, we have our official day back at work on Friday. So looking forward to that. Get back in the swing of things. Get another school year started.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. I mean, I got my Disney Plus all queued up in my office. I got some snacks in there. I got some Netflix. I've got a couple shows that I need to kind of binge, and just maybe show up at lunchtime to hang out in the cafeteria. Not quite sure, but that's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to drive the shuttle. Sorry, got to do that.
Well, that's debatable.
I've made it to season 4 in Suits so far. So
isn't it a good show?
And I have flown through that. That's from the week ago when you suggested it. I started it last week, and I'm like, looked at the clock last night, and I got to take. I had a big day today, and I looked at the clock last night. Oh my God, I had to get up in like 4.5 hours, and
right?
I'd watched like 3 episodes of Suits. So. Great show. If you have not watched it out there, viewing audience, oh man, some great one-liners and some funny characters and some crazy stuff.
100%. So Zach, why don't you go ahead and kick us off, man, and let's get this thing rolling. The whole thing for this show is, are you ready for some football talk? And it's kind of been a whole year since not a whole year, but it's been a long time since we had some legitimate football talk. So, Zach, why don't you get us going on it?
Yeah, we're going to take it away. And, I mean, we're going to kind of talk first about the local scene. We talked a little bit last week with college realignment and all of that, but I figured, man, we've got jamborees coming up this Friday, another couple days. And I'm sure all of the high school fellas, they are ready to hit somebody else other than their teammates. And so I figured, hey, we talked about it. What topics do we want to cover? It'd be a great opportunity to roll out to local high school football action. So we'll try and make sure you got to remind us. We got to make sure that we talk about all the non independent teams, or at least the other teams, local teams that are not affiliated with the local conferences. So let's just talk. I mean, since this is St. Pius the X and we got Herculaneum, we'll keep it on the small school side here and talk about the I-55 conference. We've got, the local teams, St. Pius, Grandview, Herculaneum, Jefferson R7, Bayless, Perryville. They were added last year. St. Vincent as well. Coach Jarvis, I know I'm probably missing a team or two here. Just tell us a little bit, since you're out of the three of us, you're coaching football. How's it been for you guys? And then tell us kind of what expectations are for not only you all going into the Jamboree, but just coaches in general.
Dude, it is fast and upon us. I mean, we are Jamboreeing Friday.
Jamboreeing. What the hell is that?
Sound the bell, right? I mean, it's time.
We're ready. We're hoping to ring the bell some this year, and Coach Boss and the rest of our coaching staff have been working hard with the kids. Our kids had a good off season, and last year we were, I think, 6-7 on the year, I believe, or something, something like that. But we had 6 wins, and I'm looking at the standings. You had Pius had a good season last year. St. Vincent, they're going to be tough on the small school side this year. Have a lot coming back. Jefferson, year in and year out, is a tough matchup. Mm-hmm. And then you bring in some other schools with Perryville, a bigger small school, and Bayless. And so I think it'll be a competitive conference. You also have Grandview in there. I think it'll be a very competitive conference. You hit the nail right on top of the head, though. These kids are ready to hit someone in another jersey. I mean, you just get tired of fighting with each other. They want to go to war against someone else and see where you're at. See who's replacing who. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we graduated 12 seniors, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that seems to be kind of a theme. I mean, you guys graduated double-digit seniors. I know St. Pius graduated double-digit seniors. I know R7 lost quite a bit. I think Coach had said something the other day about maybe an entire line that they're going to have to replace. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast when you talk about, graduation, whether it's high school level, collegiate level. But it just seems like some of the names, not that we necessarily want to talk about individuals, but it just seems like there have been a lot of talented players in this I-55 conference that have been, lost to graduation, whether it's linebackers that are maybe all state, they've got 100+ tackles here or there, whether it's skill players as running back, quarterback, receivers, and then again, linemen as well. And that's just on one side of the ball. Coach, what do you normally do just to kind of prepare you going in from one year in, 1 year out, when you do have double-digit graduation losses in senior classes?
Well, and in high school football and in like any other high school sport, your team is always different a year later, mm-hmm. And so you got to find replacements. You got to find kids that are willing to step up to the plate. And maybe you had some kids that were really good on JV last year, but they had a varsity 2 or 3 year starter in front of them. Mm-hmm. I know offensively, we got a lot of weapons to replace. I mean, we had a couple in Barr. I mean, he was an electric wide receiver for us last year. Jackson Deering threw the ball all over the place last year at quarterback. Michael Maloney, I mean, a guy that started since he was a freshman, basically. There's a lot of kids to replace, and every coach is trying to prepare for that. Sometimes you're preparing during that season even, you're putting kids in the right situations, hoping that it's going to carry over to the next year too. And you just got to see where the kids are at. Hopefully they put in a good summer, which I felt like our participation was pretty good. And, the weight room is the name of the game in football. And some of those other programs we talked about, they're really good in the weight room too. And so I'm sure their kids have been putting in the work. And, I don't want to be coaches speak, but,
right.
we found
Sounds like you're being coaches speak.
Well, we found some things out after the jamboree that we got to straighten out. And, after our scrimmage, Midnight Madness on Friday night, Saturday morning, whatever you want to say. And so teams will make adjustments. And then after this jamboree, you got to make quick turnaround adjustments. Hey, this is who's starting. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. Now we got to start game planning.
So I want to ask you about that. I mean, I know, as being basketball coaches, we have our philosophy on the jamboree. And I think some of us are similar. Some of us are completely different in our thought process with that sport. But what do you look for as a football coach or maybe even a staff when you guys go into a jamboree setting, knowing, listen, do we want to put up some touchdowns? I mean, there's no special teams going on. You only have X amount of reps that you're going to get. You even try and share some reps with the JV. At least some maybe jamborees do. What are you specifically looking for as a coaching staff going into the jamboree? And then the second part is, when you look at a guy, let's say he was a JV dude last year, maybe he's a freshman, maybe he's a sophomore. What type of growth do you hope that this kid can do to impact a varsity roster going from maybe a sophomore year to his junior year?
Well, you're hoping that if he is a sophomore going from that 10th grade year to junior year, he's ready to step up and play on the varsity. And a jamboree will give you a good taste of whether he can do that or not. Sometimes if you have a small program, you only have 35, 40 kids in it. It's hard to get a look in practice. So this jamboree is going to get us a look against other teams, and then we can make some more decisions on who's going to be where, who we may need to move. You want to get your best 11 on the field. And however you do that, sometimes you got to change someone's position because that athlete's one of your top 11, but he plays the same position as 2 or 3 athletes that are really good at that position. So you may change a position. Now, you may not change it this late in the game, but you're going to make decisions based on this jamboree. We kind of have an idea of who we think is going to do it and who's not, but let's see who's going to step up and actually hit. Varsity speed is a lot different than JV speed. And I like the jamboree in football. The only way I don't like it is if someone gets injured.
So, okay. So that's we had this argument,
Did
Chris
you? I wasn't there.
Chris doesn't want to bring it up. He's thinking,
why would you do that?
It was a non-contact drill that he got hurt in.
Right. But how do you don't want to get your kids hurt. And you just said small schools, you can't afford to get your kids hurt. So what you can't, unless, I don't know, unless you just don't play them.
It's hard to practice tackling if you don't really tackle.
Right.
And so you just have to roll the dice. Huh?
You're just playing 2-hand touch. That's all you got to do.
And
I touched him 2 hand. No, that was 1 hand, not 2.
You worry about that every day you go to practice. Every day that you may go, say you go half line. You're just going half, but you still are worried the entire time. So you're always battling it, especially at a small school. You're battling, well, do I want my stud out there to get a chance to get, maybe we should go half pads today. Maybe we shouldn't go full. Those are a lot of hard decisions coaches make. And football is one of those games. It's hard to just turn on the tackling. Hey, I'm going to stay low, tackle all the way to the ground if I'm practicing tackling high in practice. You got to go full tilt sometimes.
Yeah, that you talked about the jamboree and then you talked about tackling. I know as a scout team player, when I played, the worst words were, "We're going live." But then when you became the varsity starter, the words that you love to hear, "We're going live," because you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna get to tackle some
well, in some years you can go more live if you are more competitive. There's more competition. You got a good group of juniors and seniors and some competitive sophomores. You can go full tilt more often maybe, but sometimes you just got to scale it back if your numbers are low, and you may have to scale it back. It's a hard teeter-totter at the high school level when you're
Small
talking,
school,
especially a very small school.
And then,
because you're one injury away from being done for the season. I mean, when you have one of your guys get hurt and he's somebody you depend on, and the next guy you have on the depth chart is not. I mean, and it's different maybe with girls sports. I mean, no disrespect to them, but they mature so much faster than guys. So when a guy gets hurt in their sport, when I'm going for maybe a senior or a junior who's more developed, and I'm looking at a sophomore or freshman. Well, sophomore or freshman girl is not as, I mean, on the average,
it's not a big
the gap.
The drop off, the drop off is immense. So when that happens in a sport like football, where there's a high risk of injury, you're sitting there holding your breath on every one of them. Oh shoot, he's having a hard time walking, or
he's holding
not getting up quick enough. Rolling over on their back, everything that you can think of, you're just like, crap. Here we go.
You talk about, quarterback goes down, let's just say tweaks an ankle or his throwing shoulder. Everything that you implemented in the summer, you spent all these contact days doing. It's almost like it's out the window. Or you've got a feature back that let's be real here. You've got your workhorse that, hey, you're going to probably run 25 plus times a night to maybe even keep you in a game going in the fourth quarter, depending on your schedule. He goes down, and then you're scrambling. You're scrambling. Whether it's X's and O's, or maybe it's just finding a Jimmy or Joe just to replace. I mean,
you may be at a position. Say let's take offensive line. Say you only have 14 total, or 18 total. Well, it takes 5, and you go into the jamboree, you lose your starting right tackle. Well, okay, then your next best backup's going to come in. Well, then there goes some depth. Now someone that's a 10th grader or freshman may have to step up.
So
and you went from a junior or senior,
right?
And now it doesn't. I don't care how many reps the kids had. I would rather have a junior or senior kid that has experience than a freshman.
So let me ask you this, and since both of you guys are head coaches, how would you go about just head coaches? No, just head coaches in general.
Okay, not football.
You have to have this conversation of, look, you're a junior or senior, you're a skill guy, maybe you're tight end, you're a fullback type body, but our O-line is only 4 deep, 5 deep. I'll give you 6 deep, but you might be second or third on the depth chart at fullback or tight end, but you've had it in your brain that you just got to be the skill player. How do you go about having these conversations with the players about saying, look, we need you, the team needs you to be an O-lineman. We're going to completely change the position that you want to do, but it's for the betterment of the team. How do you guys go about that as head coaches and have those?
I'm moving you to this spot. This is what you're going to do.
Can I tell you an old time story about this?
I mean, if you want.
I was a tight end, right?
It's Gadilf time. It's story time.
I played tight end. I played
back
it
when they had leather helmets.
I played it in 7th grade. I played it in 8th grade. I played it as a freshman. I played it as a sophomore, and I had some really good tight ends that were in front of me, And so after our sophomore year, coach brought us all in and talked to us. Said, hey, I sit down. Coach Bob Holman's kind of an intimidating dude, by the way, if you don't know who that is. And he says to me, hey, Jason, do you want to play on the varsity next year? Duh. Yeah. I want to start on the varsity.
Yeah.
He said, you're a guard. I looked at him. I went, okay. And I walked out. That was the end of the conversation. And then I was a guard, and I ended up starting and making all conference first team as a guard. Those conversations aren't always that easy.
I was going to say, time out. What year was that?
1992.
Okay. Well, fast forward to 2023.
Okay, so those conversations, you got to know what kid you may be able to do that with and what kid you can't, because you don't want to approach the kid that oh crap, this could be, he's going to say yes I want to, or he's going to say I quit. And it's hard. It's a hard line to toe as a coach. And it's hard because that kid wants to be a position player, but man, we need him at right guard. I mean, he's a good fullback, but he can, if we put him at guard, he can pull, he can kick out on an end. He could, he's fast. He could pull on a sweep or jet, whatever.
But I don't get the ball. I don't get my stats.
And that's the hard conversation.
But you know what? There's enough film out there, and I know this is perspective, and kids don't understand that sometimes when they look at the stats on STL Today or whatever, the back of a football card. Nobody collects cards anymore. But if college coaches are seeing the film on you, that there's, you have the ability to do different things. They will plug you in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason. You played college football. They will plug you in places where you can help the team because you're an athlete. You might be big, but you're all, like you said, you're fast. You can, heck, he might be able to run the ball. He might be able to block out of the backfield. He might be able to do this. He can catch the ball. So we don't have to just put him on the line. We can play him at tight end.
Well, take someone like Ahmad. I don't even know if he's playing receiver at Purdue anymore. He might be playing D-back. You take an athlete.
I think he's playing in the defensive back.
Yeah. So, I mean, that happens. And, I went to college to be an offensive lineman. Now, if I would have been the size I am now, that would have worked out all right. But I was 205 pounds soaking wet. And so I'm working.
Think about that. How many times do you see, tight ends that they say, well, hey, he came in, he was recruited as a quarterback he played quarterback out of high school, or you talked about, hey, they have the label athlete. Well, that just basically means position to be named later. So, or hey, you go from receiver to the secondary because depth, or hey, do you want a chance to play? So that's kind of commonplace. And I don't know if
but now in college, though, you may approach one of those skilled players and try to switch them, and they'll say, okay, well, transfer portal, bye-bye.
Right. Yeah.
Because coach over here is going to promise me to play tight end. Our quarterback, you're wanting me to play tight end.
Yeah. Look at JJ Watt. I mean, he went to was it Western Michigan to be a tight end, and then man, it's not working out for me there. And he goes ahead and walks on over Wisconsin and wants to play defensive end. I think that change worked out well for him. So
I think that one worked. That was okay.
So
yeah.
And that happens. I mean, I didn't play a lick hardly at all on the offensive line. I mean, I was on the JV at Central Methodist, and then my coach said, hey, what do you think about playing defensive line? I went, have I got a better chance to play? He goes, yep. I go, let's do it. I switched.
So play
the very next day.
Play where I want to play and never get to play. Play where I don't want to play and I play all the time. I don't like sitting on the bench. I like playing. It kind of goes. And again, it's hard because kids have a hard time these days being a little selfless on things. Like, I need to do what's best for the team. Now, I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying that we do have some majority of kids who, they're worried about them and what's best for them. And if they do this for the team, it's not going to turn around and, well, I have higher aspirations of playing at the next level. So when I do this, it hurts my chances. When in fact it doesn't, it makes you somebody that coaches want more, because then when they call you and they're calling a football coach, because there's no club select football like there is with other sports. And they're saying, hey, what's this kid like? Dude, you want this guy because he's changed 3 positions in the last 3 years because it's what's best for the team. He can do this, 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 and this, and this, and he makes good grades. Oh, hell, that's what I want. I want that guy. I don't want the kid who's like, well, I specifically play linebacker and I don't do jack squat anything else. No, I don't want that guy, because when I bring him in, I'm going to want to maybe use him somewhere else, and then he's going to throw a little pissy fit, and he's going to sit his ass on the bench. He's never going to get to play, and then he's either going to go transfer portal, or I'm going to pull a scholarship, and we're done. Right?
Right.
I'm not a football coach, so you tell me.
Well,
the football coach here, undefeated. Jailbreak blitz, baby. Jailbreak blitz. You can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Well, 8-0 junior high record, right?
No. Don't give 8. There was 6.
Oh, 6-0.
6-0.
Did you play the same 3 teams and then play them again?
Mm-hmm. Well, so what you do in your small school?
I was just wondering.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
so
undefeated.
I can't say that. I've never been undefeated except
0 losses.
No, never been undefeated.
So
0 losses.
Oh my gosh! So we'll get back into this, and Jarvis, you can stay out of this just because you're coaching, and then again, you don't want bulletin board material. But we've got such an eclectic group in the I-55 conference. I mean, you've got Class 1 schools all the way up to Class, all the way up to Class 4 schools. So, Jarvis, you say as much or as little as you want, but what are your thoughts going in? I mean, to me, St. Vincent wins last year. See how
this goes.
St. Vincent wins last year. Man, their JV was pretty darn good. I remember their JV basketball team. They were really good. So, they've got athletes. You're the champ until somebody knocks you off. So
there's this look on Jason's face right now that he just wants to give all of his predictions and stuff right now, don't you?
No.
No, it's a hard no.
That's why.
Zach, why are you asking a question?
I think St. Vincent is going to be a formidable opponent.
Really, like I said, I think again.
I think they have a lot coming back now. They're going to have to replace some linemen. But I think they could be the favorite maybe in the conference. I mean, if you're going to go by what they did last year and what they have coming back. And
I think that's fair.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. I'm not gonna make a prediction.
No,
but if anyone can look at it and go, yeah, St. Vincent's probably going to be one of the teams to beat in that conference. I think St. Vincent's going to be tough.
They are. Now, you guys, weren't you all Class 4 last year or 3? Okay, 3. Bayless, they were up there.
Straight.
That's why I asked. I put a question mark on it. So Bayless, they were.
Basketball is 4.
But yeah. See, I get it. It's all mixed
and
up.
That kind of jacks it up for you sometimes.
So Bayless, they were up there too, right? They were Class 3, Class 4. Perryville, Class 3, Class 4. Do you see them going into year 2 of being a part of the I-55 conference? Do you see them being able to make a jump simply based on the fact that, I mean, they have more population, more school numbers, enrollment, and you guys all talked about, years ago, quantity over quality. So, I mean, do you see? That's a jam.
I mean, football is a numbers game. I mean,
Right.
the more people you have, I mean, the more chance you are to have good players. I mean,
Right.
That's not always. Now, of course, it's not all a historically terrible program that has a bunch of people out. It takes time. I don't know. I know that I think we have some new coaches at some spots. You guys have Coach Ray, and I'm not sure about Perryville. I thought maybe I don't know, but I know we have some coaching changes. There's so many factors that go into everything in a season. I mean, it's just so many factors, and it's hard. I can label them 1 through 8 or whatever it is, but I mean, Vincent, if you go history wise, our 7's been pretty tough in this conference for a long time.
It really is any given Friday. I mean, where are you playing? What's the weather going to be like? What week is it? Who did you play the week before?
Who got hurt?
Who got hurt? Number one, take it back. Who's healthy? Who's available? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, and
Who got COVID? Oh wait, that was from a couple years ago.
Oh, that was a bad time. But say you're a team that runs spread, and your quarterback goes down. Is your second quarterback as good? What do you have? You take us last year. We had Barr. He was pretty dynamic. You take him out of the equation, we weren't as explosive. Those big plays weren't there. So, week to week, things can change so drastically in football. And I know they can in any sport. But I just feel in football, if you lose one of those main keys, your middle linebacker who basically calls – let's face it, I think being a quarterback in the NFL has got to be one of the toughest positions in any sport. Any sport. Being the middle linebacker of a defense, having to make adjustments. You're the basic quarterback of the defense. And if you got young players at some of those positions, I think we're going to be young at a couple positions there. We got some guys that have some varsity experience. I think on this conference was kind of like our basketball conference, because I think other than Vincent, maybe even Vincent, though, you don't know what's going to happen in any given game in this conference.
Well, I think that I think just like I'll use what you said about with the basketball. You have to show up to play. You have to. If you're not healthy, you got to have next guy up, and otherwise, there's no guaranteed wins. There's not a lot of there. I don't see a super team. Obviously, I'm going to root for St. Pius, but St. Vincent is the conference champs. Like Zach said, you're the champ until someone knocks you off.
Yep.
And at the same time, you have to show up and play. So sometimes kids get a little complacent. They feel like they got the game won. All they have to do is put on their pants, their jock, and walk off the bus. Sometimes they only have to put their cleats on and they're going to win. That's not the case. Okay. Well, in our conference, we don't have any teams like that.
And in football, especially at the smaller level, but in a football conference like ours, it could just be that game where everyone is off.
Yeah.
Everyone on your team is just not there, whether it's something that happened that you never know. We're dealing with 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. You just never know.
Squirrel, right? Look.
Problem. Weird.
Their girlfriend might not have called them and wished them good luck before the game, and then, they're like over there. She don't love me.
She is talking to somebody. Who's she talking to?
I hated it if I came to a game and I couldn't find where my parents were when I was in school. I always wanted to know where they were sitting.
Well, Chris, you would have
where mine were sitting, because they were always sitting.
You could hear them.
Well, Dad was always sitting in the front row. Mom wouldn't sit by him, and then they both were yelling at me, the officials, everything in between. So
you got surround sound.
I was, and if I'm playing, it was like Dad sitting in the middle, and I run past. It's like the Doppler effect. So you can't hear him very well. You start hearing him, gets louder, louder, louder. Get up to that point, it's very loud, and then he's going away. So I was just like, God, I just need to get by him, so I don't have to hear this crap. But no, I think before we go to break, I think it's going to be a competitive conference. I can't emphasize that enough, and that's not coach speak, because I do think you have to show up and play. I do know that especially when you're talking about all the things, the elements that you're fighting, whether it is the weather, whether it's the health, whether it's the emotional and mental state of mind of your athletes, the thing that you got to, everything has to come together the right way to be successful. So anyway, I will take us to break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more stuff. So you watch the Coach's Box. We'll be right back. Hopefully I don't mess this up, because this is kind of new.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from Case and Bucks, personally inviting you and your family to come check us out. We've taken over ownership back in September. We've made some great positive changes, got the same legacy wings, got some amazing pizzas, some awesome burgers, hamburgers provided by Kenrick's. We'd love to have you down. Come check us out. The beer's cold, the air conditioning's working, and we're looking forward to seeing you all. Take care.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally, regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their lives. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
Oh, hey, there's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
Late, just a little. Just a little bit late.
Yeah. Way to bring us back, Kevin.
Hey, good thing he wasn't picking his nose or something.
Hey, better jump on that one. That was nice, Miller. Thanks.
Better late than never. I mean, Jim and Blair can't ever get it together. So,
are they on the show anymore? I don't know at this point if they're even on the show.
Listen, Jim's
for as much as what I miss, I'm not saying anything.
I'm charging interest on this, Jim.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I asked Powers what he's doing. He's actually a volleyball rules meeting. They still have rules meetings now.
Well, apparently it's not passes. They're working on their terminology.
Yeah,
I still don't know what the hell you're supposed to say.
I don't either. Assist. It's good.
So okay, Kevin, for someone who might know this, so if player A, if they go to bump the ball and it's bumped to a teammate to set, what is that action called?
I coach the other fall sport, not volleyball.
You might know, but you were giving me a hard time about it. So me and Zach. So what is you don't know what that's called either?
It's a pass.
Okay, so why was everybody saying? Well, they're saying pass, and then it's a pass. It's like they're calling a basketball game. It's either way.
Because your basketball coach is calling a volleyball game. That's why they were doing it.
You know what? Maybe the local media should have picked up the game and actually came out there and covered it, whether it was the radio, whether it was the newspaper, whether it's other streaming services in the area. Should have covered 2 state-ranked teams playing for a conference championship. It was a great game.
Let's just
who covered that game? Who covered that game?
Off the Rails Media.
Yep, sure did.
How much do you think it cost to watch it?
0. Hey, you can go back and watch it again.
Nothing's free. We had to hear you guys use incorrect volleyball terms the entire time.
Well, you know what you could have done? You could have just paid and came and watched it, or you could watch it there.
Yeah.
There you go.
No.
That's
Sounds
right.
like we had options.
People had options because we provided those options for them for free.
I mean, the grandmother that lived in Florida that couldn't make the trip here, could watch.
Yep,
that's right. I mean, she had to hear us, calling it like a basketball game, but whatever. At least she got a chance to see it.
I mean, I hear a lot of people retire that Florida, so that's why.
One day, baby, one day.
I'll never retire. I'll work the rest of my life.
You can't.
I'll work myself in the grave.
It's part of it. So Zach, let's jump into our next segment.
Well,
you want to give some love. We talked about the small schools.
Yes.
Well, I guess we could talk about the large schools for a little bit.
You got to. Why? Do you have something against the large schools, Chris?
No, I don't have something against the large schools. It's just that,
Are you still playing all of them on the schedule this year? Large schools.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're not on the basketball team. I don't have to tell you our schedule.
You're not on the basketball team. Love it.
You got cut. You got cut. Eddie's back. You're cut. Sorry, no.
He found a better replacement. What can I say?
Wait a minute. Eddie is a better replacement.
Hey,
diversity.
Eddie might sit up on the front part of the bench instead all the way at the end.
I'm gonna sit up on the stage now.
It's just going to be Eddie's job to catch clipboards. That's all he's going to do.
So, hey, Coach McVey, so when I come and scout at Pius, I'm going to sit with you on the stage. You can tell me everything that's going on.
Exactly.
Never require Zach to be at the game. He ain't good. He's going to say,
"Oh, that's true. He ain't going to be there.
I can watch this on YouTube, and I can be sitting there on the couch. I can watch whatever's over here, and oh look, there just happened to be a basketball game. I can sit here and drink my Pepsi and sit in my comfy clothes, my jorts, because I don't wear jean shorts out in public, and I can watch this game. And I can yell at Miller. He ain't gonna listen to me here, just like he didn't listen to me there, and I'll be more comfortable.
Gotta love the jorts.
Zach, am I wrong?
No, you're
okay.
Just gonna watch Zach get up and sprint across the living room trying to get something called
from the fridge.
Yeah.
So this large school conference, we got Hillsboro.
Yep.
Festus.
Yep. North County.
North County's now in the.
Yep. In that. Yep.
They've been.
Yeah. Windsor.
DeSoto.
Yep, let me get the other info. I think it's those.
Oh, you weren't prepared for the show.
I am. I'm looking.
Whatever.
Yep.
All right.
That's it. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 schools. Yep. So I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say, I think Hillsboro and Festus are going to be dynamic again. I think North County is going to be good. I know North County, like a lot of other schools, we talked about in the small school, graduated a ton. I know the senior class, there's not that many, especially for a large school that they have. But man, they've got some juniors. The seniors they have are pretty dynamic. The juniors that they have are really, really good. And to me, just because of the way history has been, I still think it's going to be that 3-horse race. But hey, you've got, again, new coaches new coach out of DeSoto. Windsor.
How about that? You got Coach Schmidt out there at DeSoto.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be very familiar with some of the other, maybe not the coaches, but just he's familiar with the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Was Festus's head coach for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this: DeSoto will be organized.
Mm-hmm.
He will have systems in place. DeSoto was lucky enough to steal one of our coaches away, and Mike Sobel, and he's going to do a great job for them over there. He's running their strength and conditioning, and I just think it's going to take DeSoto time. I don't think, anything could happen. They could come out and just blow everybody's doors off. But I'm with you, Zach. I think it's North County, Hillsborough, Festus, and which one out of those three step up? We have Windsor week 1, which is going to be a tough contest for us.
Mm-hmm.
And Windsor's one of those teams that always can sneak up on you and get a win, so there'll be someone to watch. And
Funston's done a really good job the last few years kind of rebuilding the
a
numbers
Herky
in
guy?
that program. And
Herky guys know football.
Listen to this guy. Herky guys know football.
It's the Herky coaching tree.
Yeah, they know football. They were under the great Stan Helms. Funston, I think he was around a 94 or 5 grad, so we're about the same age. So he'll have them ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I still think it's those 3, but then you never know.
Man, I just look at, and this is me, with Hillsborough, you graduate a stud linebacker in Romaine who's, for what everybody has posted, is as a true freshman, might get some time at K-State.
It's hard to replace.
He was worth the price of admission. He was fun. You talk about a guy on ice skates at the linebacker spot that could just he could dissect the play. He could go in. He could fill a hole. He's going to go sideline to sideline. He was fun to watch.
It's fun to have linebackers like that. I felt like we had one in Michael Maloney at Herky last year that flew around. Our defense only gave up 6 points or 12 points a game average. And Romaine's going to be hard to replace. Like we talked about in the small schools, it's hard to replace seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And but Hillsborough's been, they've been pretty solid for a while.
Mm-hmm. Hillsborough's still got a lot coming back on offense. And
I
think that's where they're going to be the most dynamic. The Brown brothers, Saharsky, they're going to be
Saharsky's
really good
a good coach. You got the Brown brothers are going to be 2 kids that are going to be even better. I know how hard those 2 work in the weight room. And I know that Festus has a good coach and a good coaching staff, and they're going to give you everything you want. And
Festus played a lot of youth at that quarterback position last year, and that's good. They're going to be better for that.
Cunningham will be back, I would assume. Mm-hmm. He's playing quarterback again, and
And I know I say it just because I got to watch this, but the junior class at Festus, when they were in 8th grade, and yes, I know it's junior high and it's night and day difference from junior high to high school.
But go ahead.
Man, that
right.
Junior group was just, it was it was fun to watch. it was 2-3 scores, because my son played at the 7th grade level. By the time we got done, we signed him out. We walked from one side of the stadium to the other side. The 8th grade group's already up 2-3 scores. And
you got some kids coming back. You got Hayden Bates. He 21 points for Festus last year. You had Cunningham, who 42 points for Festus. What grade's the Landon Yates kid? I think he might still be there too. You're losing a lot in Armand Branch. He was 96.
He's okay.
Yeah, 96 points for them last year.
What's he doing right now? Is he at home?
He might be playing for a pretty quality team or
a little Power 5.
Wait. Are they in the big? Is he playing in the Big 18?
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm just asking. Is this a good segue? Is this a good segue into college football? Okay, go ahead. I'll stay out of this. You guys want to talk about a few big schools? Go ahead.
Well,
man, what this guy throwing a lot of hate.
Well, hey, I think
all
you
you big school basketball coaches are listening to this. I hope.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I think you said it, Jarvis. To me, again, until it's the show me state, we live in the show me state. So until you show me, it's the 3-horse race between Festus, Hillsborough, North County. And
I mean, we said the two Brown kids are back. Is it Preston and Caden or Peyton and Caden?
It's Peyton and Preston.
Oh, Peyton and Preston.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were only 130 points of Hillsborough's offense last year.
Yeah.
130, 42 and 82.
Yeah. I think Preston was the quarterback and Peyton's the running back.
Preston was the quarterback, 54 completions for 88 yards. That's a 61% clip, 849 yards, 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, a rating of 128. So
and that's in an offense that's traditionally ground and pound
yes
type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose a lot, Jackson Patterson and Austin Romaine, yes, but they still have weapons. They're going to be tough.
Here's what I want to go, Chris. This will be kind of our last local high school. Is that the white division of the MAFC? You've got Central, Fredericktown, Potosi, St. John, and Valley. To me, the buzz and the word is that Park Hill Central has potential. Again, we don't know where teams are going to be, Class 3, Class 4. Valley, I think they talked about moving down to Class 2. I think. Again, we won't know until what is it this Friday or next week? Whenever
it's Friday.
Okay,
next Friday. It's the 25th.
Next Friday. Okay,
sure
week 1. Great.
I thought it's normally the first day of games, so I normally think it's
okay.
that
So next week, but you hear in that division, Park Hill Central and Valley Catholic, both looking to not only go win districts, maybe if they're Class 3 and Class 2, because they went head to head last year. Central won the district title. Valley won the conference title.
188 points. Is that good?
Just a tad.
Because that's what right. Bryant for Park Hills.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
And
that's all right.
And he's a pretty dynamic basketball player too. They'll have Caden Casey back. I think they'll have the Harlow kid back. I mean, they're going to be tough.
Well, it's just like the large schools. You're going to have to prove it. It's Valley and Central until they're proven otherwise.
And I think St. John started. I think they had a new coach coming across from I think the Valley coaching tree. I think he's in his second year if he stayed. St. John might be a dark horse for that division, just because I think that they were building. They had some momentum. But, man, again, you look across the board, you are going to have some dynamic athletes, again, in our local scene, whether it's Jefferson County, whether it's down in the – I'm calling it the MAAA because that's what it is. And then, we could talk about the really, really big schools with Seckman and Fox. The fact that, Rubel graduated, he's down at SEMO. Seckman is still probably going to have a really good squad again.
That's going to be that Seckman's going to be the one that's going to be the one to see, because you just don't know what Seckman's going to look like without Rubel. I think they're going to have enough athletes. They've rebuilt that and they've done some things, but he's such a special kid that they molded their entire program and offense around that. What is it going to look like without him in the middle of it? Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see that.
And then you have, not that they're independent, but Farmington is down in the SEMO conference. They were young last year. They got a lot of pieces back. Their stud running backs coming back. I think they're going to improve.
You got Valley at Seckman in that first game on 8/25. And then the following week you have Valley and Festus.
Man, hey, right out of the gate, you're going to find out what you're made of one way or the other.
Yep. That's I looked up Valley's schedule. Only 3 of them are listed, but Seckman, Festus, and Vianney are 3 of their opponents.
Yeah. Okay. Valley with their schedule, I think those might be their first 3 opponents. I think.
No,
Is
they
Valley
play
later in the year?
Vianney in
Or Vianney?
October.
Okay, but Valley could play really well and still come out 0-3 or 0-4 to start the season, playing really well because
What
of the
everybody
schedule they
thought
play.
last year, and look what they did.
Yeah, so
Valley's
they could be
Valley.
4-0 too, or 5-0. They've
They've got a lot
table.
back.
I'd like to know when they're playing Central during the regular season.
Let me go back to Central schedule.
Probably about halfway through, but while you're looking that up, I think Farmington, they're down in that tough SEMO conference. They got to play Jackson, the likes of Jackson, and all those southern schools down in the Cape area. And then you're looking at Crystal City, who's still independent. They bounce back, have a really, really dynamic year. They lose their quarterback, their senior stud quarterback, Schomburg, I think is who it was. But they got a lot of pieces back as well.
Yeah, but they'll put the Eisenbeiss kid will probably go to quarterback for him.
He played a lot at quarterback last year.
Yeah, and then you have the Raftree kid, Caden.
Yeah,
and then you have the Bolden kid.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some weapons. They're going to be tough. They whooped our butt last year, and they're going to be pretty good. I think they'll be. Dan Fox has really got some things going over there, and as long as he can keep the numbers up, I think they're going to compete with a lot of schools.
So real quick, do you think that since we're talking about big schools all of a sudden? Oh wait, no, we went back and started talking about Crystal City. Doggone it, Zach.
Well, he wants to make sure we try to cover everybody around here.
Alumni.
Equal opportunity here. Hey.
Oh,
viewers,
viewers,
value.
That is your
value. Did
equal
you just
opportunity.
say value?
Zach, equal opportunity, McVey.
Free.
Good Lord.
Free.
Jeez. So my question is, do you see a scenario where if Crystal City can keep their numbers up, are they going to go back and try to join the conference, or are they going to just remain independent?
I don't see it happening.
I don't either, but I just wanted your opinion.
The only way I see that happen is if they ends up pulling football back into the JCAA, because technically it's not. But if
that's
they end
what
up
I mean.
pulling it
They go back.
I don't know. I think that if they're having a good run of it being non-conference or being an independent, then why change that for them if they're being successful doing it? And then they don't have to play some of the other schools. They get to go make the schedule they want to make. And I think it's good for them if they can do that.
I just think the enrollment at the school is the issue. And again, we said it, and it's been, I guess, 10 years now plus. But when our 7 made and created their own high school, it affected
My last year was 2012 at Crystal, so yes.
Mm-hmm. It affected enrollment for Herculaneum, for Crystal City.
They went from like 396 students to 100 and something in 4 years.
Yeah. And I just don't see
something
because they're
numbers may be off a little.
Yeah. Because they're landlocked, I just don't see the enrollment having a chance to go up. Therefore, I just don't know. They're going to always ride the small school wave of numbers. And I think they're on the up right now. They're on the upswing because they had such a great year. I know driving around over the summertime, getting to see them, you kind of look through and you see them down in the pit there. They had, it was probably junior high through high school, through senior. There were a ton of them. There were a lot of kids down there. So, Coach Fox is building up the program and hopefully these kids stick with it.
It's always good. I mean, to root on schools in the county, once you're done playing, your county schools, unless they're in your district,
right.
And then you go on from there. But, they had a good run last year. Good for them. And, I think Dan Fox will keep it going. I think they got some talent, and I think it'll keep rolling for them.
Mm-hmm. So, Chris, you want to take a break? It's about 9:00, start of that. We're in it for an hour. When we come back, we'll just kind of go rapid fire here, talk about some college stuff, talk about some pro stuff. What do you say?
I guess you're running the show, all right?
I got the agenda.
Agenda right here on my phone.
Right? Jarvis looked at the agenda.
And I looked at the agenda.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Oh, you did? He looked at it. Did he read it?
Yes, I did read it. I mean, Today
That's
was
what the kids say.
Today was an eventful, emotional day for me. I'll talk a little bit about that next too.
It's just like a sophomore. Hey, I looked at the reading assignment.
That's how it goes. You watch Coach's Box. We'll be right back.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from Case and Bucks, personally inviting you and your family to come check us out. We've taken over ownership back in September. We've made some great positive changes, got the same legacy wings, got some amazing pizzas, some awesome burgers, hamburgers provided by Kenrick's. We'd love to have you down. Come check us out. The beer's cold, the air conditioning's working, and we're looking forward to seeing you all. Take care.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally and regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their life. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
Hey, welcome back, guys and gals that are watching. Third segment of tonight's Coach's Box, and I think we are going to talk about a plethora of things. I think the Cardinals are losing 8-0, but anyway, enough with them.
They lost.
Enough with them.
Please tell me Wainwright wasn't pitching.
Yeah,
Libertor.
I've been, it was Libertor after he had such a great game the other night. But anyway, that's enough about them.
Okay. Wait. And 2 birds went down too.
2
Lars is hurt. Lars is hurt. Edmund's hurt.
Again.
Okay, so you have to bring up Win. You have to bring up Win.
Got to now.
I can't stand to watch that. What's his name?
Taylor.
Yeah, gosh dang. That nappy hair, I just can't stand it.
Fabio and
the last time somebody said nappy hair on the air, they lost their job. So don't do that.
Oh,
who's that?
This is years ago. That was that. Oh gosh, that was that longtime radio guy.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry, long hair.
I can't remember what
Taylor Meyer's got nappy hair. You can say that. It looks awful. Looks like a damn hippie out there. It doesn't even look good. You got to cut it.
The PC world we live in, but I'll tell you what, guys. Today was an event that I can't believe happened. I went up there to Mizzou. The back of my car was packed, and I know I'm old. Okay, I know I'm 47, but it seems like yesterday when my mom and dad dropped me off at Central Methodist, and here I am dropping off my firstborn son to college, and I'm proud of myself. No tears.
Hey, we would have judged it if you had.
But what got me the most, we went to Shakespeare's after we moved everything in, blah, blah, blah. I sent the pictures. Well, hey, yeah. See, my Kool-Aid's in the cup right there. 50 years. This is their 50th anniversary.
Yep.
And so we went to Shakespeare's, and I got so many cups at my house. That's the ones we use all the time. So went to Shakespeare's at the end of it, and we had to drive him back to his dorm. Well, man, I will give Mizzou props. Their check-in and getting the kids in the dorm is so awesome. You pull up, you empty all the stuff out, you have it all labeled. They throw it in these bins. You don't even have to carry it up there. They push it up to your room, put it in your room, and then you just set up the room. But what got me, we had to take him back to his dorm. And so we were in the line where all these people are. So I pulled around and pulled in the Ameren parking lot. I drop him off, and I'm sitting in the Ameren parking lot, and I can see him walking away. And I snapped a couple pictures. And that's when it hit me. I made that right to get out, go back on South College. And I looked at Taylor, and I go, I've been good all day. I've been fine with all of this until that picture of the back of him facing me. I was like, oh my God. It's been kind of weird at football because he hadn't been at practice. He's been running around with me since 7th grade at Herky. And wow, when you guys get to that point, some of you, and I know there's viewers out there that have, and I know Dylan Black went to college today at McKendree. I know that senior group, there's a bunch of them that went today. It's just crazy. Jackson Darian, I've seen him. He's been practicing with Mobab, playing football, and it's just wow. It hit on I got onto I-70. I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. He's gonna drive the same trip I drove all the time from Central Methodist, just a little shorter. But the campus there, I'm like, I don't think I could have went to Mizzou. That's huge, huge, and it's nice. It was great. I'm glad I got to experience it. I got 2 more to experience that with someday. One's a ways off, but Jill's going to be a junior, so in 2 years.
I didn't want to say that, but I'll
throw it out there. You always messing with me, my grandpa dad, but
at the same time, Dylan's kid's going to be starting kindergarten. You're going to be
maybe we'll get them all in the same district.
That'll be one weird first day of school picture.
Man, that'd be a great first day picture.
Because
you're
Jarvis
still be teaching. My first
Dylan's starting his first day teaching. Your son's starting his first day actually going.
Oh no, Dylan's gonna go make money. He's not gonna be a teacher. He's in radiology or something. So
there you go. Good choice.
Yeah. Today he said, "Well, the average salary is $95,000, and what I want to do." I'm like, "Yeah, screw you."
See ya. Do it.
It was a great day. It was awesome. I love Mizzou. I love Columbia. Shakespeare's, CJ's. I can't wait to go up there and tailgate a little bit. I know Jeff Kloss, who you know really well, McVey from Crystal, and some of you know. I know they go up there all the time. So I got some friends that have kids that are up there, and he's living with 3 other kids. I know their families, good families. So, you know,
the pictures you had, I guess, of the dorm, they looked pretty nice.
It's man, there's a lot of room, and their dorm's connected to another dorm there, and it's him, Henry Rue, Jack Huter, and Will Huter. So it ought to be interesting.
Yeah, it ain't like the Deermont dorms at SEMO that didn't have air conditioning and the paint was chipping.
Oh, were you in Deermont? That I stayed there one night. Deermont was bad.
I lived in the trailer park at Lindenwood.
What'd you say?
That might win.
I lived in the trailer park at Lindenwood for a year.
So I'll have to tell the story of my Deermont experience.
Deermont was pretty rough. You bring up Lindenwood, I got a funny story. It's about football, so we can throw it out there. We're playing Lindenwood. I'm at Central Methodist, and I forget all my pads for my pants, all of them. And I tried to steal them from a freshman, like, you know, a good senior would do. And my coach catches me, and I had to give them all. I'm starting. I'm like, oh. Luckily, he borrowed some pads from Lindenwood, and I got to play. But, God, how embarrassing. I'm a coach. You know how many guys I get mad at when they forget their stuff? And I did it. That's why I'm a little more lenient when that happens. I'm like, it happens to the best of us. But anyway, Zach, I'm sorry. Let's get back on off the rails, back on the rails.
Hey, listen, you're talking about Mizzou. There was some big news coming
How
from
about
Mizzou this
it?
week.
M-I-Z.
Z-O-U. Hey,
God, no Kentucky fans in here.
Nope. Hey, getting Will. I'm going to mess the last name up, but out of Lee Summit North, so what, Kansas City area, you've got Williams, Nwaneri. He's at least when he announced on ESPN, he was the number 2 defensive end, and it says here he's a top 5 recruit. So, I mean,
5-star, baby.
5-star. It's another one in there for Mizzou. So hopefully he can keep on, drinking.
And it's not just football.
Yeah,
the basketball program has the 3rd best class.
Well, there's Drink is still in the top 2, apparently, from what they're saying, for the Wingo kid out of SLU, who may end up playing here. And then there's another one where apparently the pundits are calling it. I can't remember what the guy's name is. He's deciding between Mizzou and Alabama, and Mizzou's kind of may have the head on that one. So
that'll be awesome.
Why would you want to go and? I mean, if I'm not one of the absolute top guys, I don't want to go try to play at Georgia or Alabama. I want to go play where I know I'm going to play. I don't have to sit on the bench for a couple of years and watch the guy who is number 1 and I'm the number 2 guy.
You still play. Right.
You're right.
He didn't look at the agenda, Zach.
So hey, this leads me into.
I don't need to look at the agenda. I am the agenda. I make up what I want.
Mr. Director over here, hey, every day.
No, I was talking about Jarvis, because Jarvis like, I don't look at no agenda. Well, I don't care about that.
Who needs a stinking agenda? No, but anyway.
I don't read.
Bring up the topic. I'll talk,
so
baby.
Here's my question to you guys. Not when we played. And not when we played. We're talking about right now. No. You are a high-profile recruit. Okay? Do you go to a top 10 program where you know you're going to sit 1, 2, maybe 3 years, or do you go to an unranked program and start right away? Now, keep in mind, you are a high-profile recruit. You're not a 2-star. You're not half a star. You're a high-profile recruit. Okay, I know, Chris likes that. But what do you do in this climate?
I choose option C.
Option C.
You said top 10 or unranked. That means that there's 11 through 25 somewhere that you didn't come up with. Okay. I want to be in that part because I'm getting to play, and I don't I'm not sitting behind the best of the best and waiting for my turn, but I'm also not sitting down here underneath the 50 feet of crap that's called everybody else is great. We get hammered. And let's say I'm a running back who's never going to get drafted higher than 15 ever again, but that's okay. Let's say I'm a really good running back and my team sucks so bad we're always behind. Guess what we're not doing at the end of the game? Running the ball. So I don't get to play. I mean, I don't get to do what I want to do as much because we suck. So I'm going to try to play on those teams that are that mid-level. That's where I want to go. That's why Mizzou's really intriguing for me. If I'm one of those guys, I'm a 4-star guy. I want to go there. I want to go to Mizzou.
Yeah,
I want to go to those guys who are right there. We might not be the best of the best, but you know what? We're going to be competitive. I don't play.
Don't be mad, Zach. I know you're trying to get me and Chris to butt heads here, but I'm not going to butt heads with him on this one because if I'm a top 4 or 5 recruit star, I'm saying, and I'm going to go sit my butt on the bench at Georgia, or I go to Mizzou and start as a freshman and get to the pros sooner because I might go there as a freshman and rack it up and as a sophomore and a junior and get drafted then. Go to Georgia, I might only play my senior year. Also, look at the track record. Mizzou's sending people to the pros. I mean, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the lesser program and get more playing.
If I'm a defensive player as a high-profile recruit, defensive players have a much greater opportunity to make an impact early in their 4 years, more so than, say, if you're a quarterback. Because if you're a high-profile quarterback that would go to a Mizzou or a Kentucky or something like that, not that upper echelon, but like that step down, you're not going to have as great of an impact as, say, this number 2 D end will as a freshman who could just ball out as a freshman. You're going to have your exceptions to that rule, but if I'm a QB, I'm probably going to go to someplace where I'm going to be able to, even if I have to sit a year as a QB, develop and then have the tools around all over the place, line and skill to do that. But as a defensive player, a cornerback, I mean, look at Enos Rakestraw. He was a high-end 3. He came out as a freshman and really played well and was able to showcase himself at a Mizzou versus going to Alabama, where as a high 3-star, he probably would have sat 2 years.
And let's put it like this: if I'm not, let's say I do this, and I go to Mizzou or I go to one of these these programs we just talked about, and I'm going to try to go there so I can play right away. And if things don't work out, guess what I can do? I can get right in that little portal, and I can go somewhere. So
and I'll get the flux capacitor.
So how about this? How about I start at Mizzou? All of a sudden, I'm playing really well, and everybody's like, "Oh man, this guy, he's going to be pretty good." So once he gets eligible for the NFL draft, and guess what? Because the friends of the program from one of these bigger schools comes and says, "Hey man, you want to come over here and play? I've got some NIL money that I can drop for you. Here's a bag of gold. Okay, now I'll go and play for Georgia." And I'll be a top 5 draft pick. Why? That's capitalism. We let NIL happen. They can go where they want to go. They can do what they want to do. This is what you get. Free agency.
Well, it's like Dominic Lovett. I can go to Georgia, I can be at Mizzou, do the skills. Then I can go to Georgia and play with a bunch of number 1 or number 2 quarterbacks. Or I could stay at Mizzou and play with Brady Cook.
So I'm torn. I'm torn when. All of this goes back to, I was kind of teasing you guys about Arch Manning. You've got Ewers that's supposed to be QB1 for Texas. You look at the QB room for Texas. They've got 4 studs. And I'm thinking, is Arch ever going to actually see the field for Texas? Or is he going to, after game 2, is he either going to redshirt or hit the transfer portal? It got me thinking. So I hear what –
got you thinking.
Well, yeah, which is never a good thing. And Chris, I think you kind of talked a little bit about it. I understand where you guys say, hey, I want to take maybe the route to go to, let's just say a Kentucky, or let's just, say some other school where I can play right away. But the reality is, if I go to that school and I start and we're not talking transfer portal, if I go and I'm going to play there for 4 years, I better put up numbers, which I may not be able to do just because of the team I'm on. I may not get drafted. Instead, if I go to a Georgia or an Alabama, even if I'm sitting and I'm redshirting, when I get on the field as a redshirt sophomore, redshirt junior, guess what? The NFL and all those scouts are going to be at my practice day in and day out. And there's probably a high percentage that I get drafted coming out of Georgia, coming out of Bama, coming out of Clemson.
But
and I have less wear and tear.
I'm not going to argue that part.
Okay.
But what I'm going to tell you is this. You act like the scouts are the only ones who see. In this day and age, everybody has access to the film. Okay, right. Everything's digitized. You don't have to trade tapes. You don't have to go and drive all the way out to the West Coast to watch to the West Coast and watch these games. These other schools that nobody cares about. Apparently, that's the thing. Okay, so it all that information is out there. There's film on everybody. Everybody has seen you and seen what you can do. Mm-hmm. It's all about those fits. It's all about what you think they can fit into your program.
Right.
If I feel like this
guy, a lot of it is
go ahead, Kevin.
A lot of it is now even measurables. You don't even necessarily have to show out, but if you're 6'5", 240, you're going to get a better shot than the 5'9" kid.
You talk about the measurables, and this kind of goes into if our viewers have had a chance to watch the Netflix documentary on Johnny Manziel,
would you stop pimping that stupid show?
No,
you've said it at least 10 times this week.
Because I'm so flabbergasted at this dude's story.
Are you flabbergasted at him?
Yes, because
why did you not listen to him on anything he's ever talked about?
Listen, I was hoping and crossing my fingers that there was going to be some type of redemptive storyline coming from this dude. And I walked away or got done watching it, and I thought, are you flipping kidding me? This guy is a grade A, just D-bag. I mean, there's no redeeming qualities from him. Maybe the filmmakers did a horrible job doing it, but there was nothing that when you got done and you went on to the next show, you thought, oh, I want to root for this guy. I don't know. Have you guys seen it yet?
I watched it.
I refuse to watch it. I hate the guy, and I hated him for a while as a football player.
I mean, he has the attitude of Ricky Bobby. You know, like that was how he is. Just like, I just wake up every morning, piss excellence, and you're an NFL bust.
But okay,
I watched.
Go ahead.
I watched a little bit of that one that the NFL quarterbacks with Kirk Cousins in it, where he ended up actually really kind of liking Kirk Cousins by the end of it. But I said, there's no way in the world that's going to change my mind about this guy. This show, nothing. You can find out he raises small animals to health and things, and I'd still hate him.
Yeah.
Not Kirk Cousins.
If you watch the show, you're going to hate him more. Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he gave two you-know-whats about football or anything.
So this goes into my
family
next question,
friendly. He gave the family friendly version, right?
You can digitize it later. But this goes into my next question. Where are these NFL scouts and GMs and decision makers? What planet are you living on when you draft these dudes? Do you not have here, borrow these? How do you not see, like, okay, I get it. Washington drafts, RG3 because he wins the Heisman and he's going to be this dual threat quarterback. But then Kirk Cousins falls to whatever round he fell to. I want that. You talk about foxhole guys. After watching that QB documentary, give me Kirk Cousins, because I know he's going to be a dude that gives everything he has. Why are you drafting some of the Trey Lance? Really? You're going to draft him? Why? Because the ESPN or NFL Network says you're supposed to? What?
Zach.
Measurables.
It's the measurables.
The guy can throw it 70 yards on the fly.
Oh my God.
Anthony Richardson
because that play is in every NFL offense.
Anthony Richardson Super Bowl is a starting quarterback in the NFL this year for the Colts. And it's like he's either going to be boom or he's going to be bust. And I think he's going to be bust.
Now, they are saying with Anthony Richardson that he is picking things up way faster, and he's actually, while he is extremely freakishly athletic, that he is becoming an NFL type of quarterback when it comes to film study and things like that, that he won't be great early, but he's given himself a better chance. Unlike some people like Manziel, who gave the idiot out in Arizona.
How does Purdy,
Kyler Murray,
how does Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, do what he does for the 49ers, but Trey Lance, who you draft,
it's a level of expectation of coaches.
Zach,
I'm going to say part of that. It's going to be Brock Purdy comes in. Oh, this is Mr. Irrelevant. So we're going to take the offense from this level and we're going to dumb it down to this level. And we're going to do the basic 5 yards in, 5 yards out, slants, where route trees, combo routes.
The greatest quarterback of all time was drafted in the 6th round. Not only did the Patriots select him, they passed on him how many times before they finally took him? How many guys? And then the guy beats out the number 1 overall pick in Drew Bledsoe. He beat Bledsoe out. And at the time, Bledsoe was a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler.
He got hurt.
He got hurt. He didn't beat him out.
But he beat him out because they gave him the job. Belichick gave him the job when he got healthy.
Right.
He kept the job.
Yes, but
Bledsoe's on the bench. How many times has that not happened?
If Trent Green would have came back, they would have told Trent Green, "Sorry, you're sitting, dude, because Kurt Warner's lighting this thing up."
Okay, that happened though. Trent Green came back the following year. Did they give it to Trent Green or did he sit?
No.
He sat until Kurt Warner got hurt. And he played. He was the starting quarterback for the Rams that second year after they won the Super Bowl.
Okay, so to get back to what Zach was saying, what I'm going to do is that let's say how many true franchise quarterbacks are in the NFL right now? Mahomes?
2.
Yeah. To me, Jalen Hurts. And what frustrates me is, and this is where I say, how are NFL execs not looking at whether it's film, the eyeball test? You look at his story. You look at Jalen Hurts. How he came up with his dad was coaching, and how just hardworking of a person he is. Look at how he handled the situation with Tua. You look at that dude, and it screams franchise guy, a guy that's good, that I want, high moral fiber character. That's the dude that I want to be my franchise QB. But then you got Trey Lance, you got Carson Wentz, you got Jamarcus Russell, you got all these just busts. Because some pundit on ESPN, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, whoever, said, well, this guy's just supposed to be the number 1 draft pick. What?
Well,
checks all the boxes.
That old Irsay, was it Jim Irsay had that fight with Mel Kiper over, I can't remember what quarterback it was years ago, but Jeff George maybe or something like that. But,
Jeff George.
Throwback. But all of these GMs and owners want that franchise guy to elevate. And they look at what these franchise quarterbacks are, the guys like Mahomes and Hurts and Burrow, and to an extent in that same route, is what do all these guys have, and what quarterbacks also can do those things and has that type of measurables in order to be that version for us.
You know what measurable I want?
They overvalue quarterbacks to the extreme, more so than any other position in any other sport.
You know what measurable I want? Winning. Give me if I'm going to draft a dude, I'm going to draft a dude that has won. That's why I say Bryce Young. As much as a Bama fan as I am, he's going to be a bust in my opinion. He didn't win the big game. He didn't win. Give me Stetson Bennett, even though he's 45. Give me Bennett, right?
45
over any of these other quarterbacks.
He looked horrible in the last preseason game.
Well,
everything was 5-yard outs.
He's throwing to a bunch of guys that ain't making the team.
I said they're going to be bagging groceries next week, right?
Yeah. By the way, Jason, you gave me that look about Trent Green. So I'm putting it up on the screen right there. You can see right now that after he was hurt and missed the entire season, he started 5 games. After Warner got hurt.
Started 5.
I told you.
He was 2 and 3. He was terrible.
Warner got hurt.
Warner got hurt, and he jumped back in. I told you that's what happened, and you looked at me like I had 3 heads.
No, you said he was the starting quarterback. Like he
got hurt. He did okay so he's healthy. He's on the bench.
You don't have to explain it to me.
Warner is the starter.
Mansplain
you're the one arguing. You're the one arguing with me.
Zach, you got what you wanted.
But it had nothing to do with his crap. Because he wants us to argue about stuff that's stupid. And usually when he tries to get us to argue, me and Chris agree because it's so stupid.
I agree with Jason. I agree with Jason on that one. So there you go.
And we're back.
We're talking about going to what school to go to, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Chase Daniel's going to tell you, hey, Mizzou did him all right.
Darn right.
Because he's making more money than any other backup quarterback in the history of the league.
Dude, he's made millions. Millions.
But why is that? He's a character dude. He's smart. And what did he do for Mizzou? He won.
Yep.
Hey, you can say the same thing. Trey Lance won for South Dakota.
It wasn't even a D1 program. Go away. Bye-bye.
But he
I'm
won.
not drafted.
No.
Carson Wentz
just said
again.
He won. I want winning. He won. So that meant, you're measurable.
You go to the big school, Zach, or you got to be the big school guy?
SEC.
What do you think
about
Jerry
Rice?
What do you think about Jerry Goff then?
SEC.
Joe Montana.
Hey, Jim Stroud, CJ Stroud, bust.
Well, that's because he went to the Ohio State, one of 18 teams in the Big 10, 11, 12, 13.
Hey,
one of 2 that are even worth a darn.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Zach, I am going to defeat your argument.
Yes.
This whole thing about winning.
Okay.
The whole thing about the SEC. Okay. Tim freaking Tebow.
Oh, love it. And he won.
Yeah, but he did crap in the NFL.
Oh, he won that playoff game.
He won that playoff game.
Oh, he won one game.
He
threw it.
Won the playoff.
He closed his eyes and chuck it, and the guy caught it.
Hey.
All I could say is he played. I will defend Tim Tebow. He unfortunately, this is when the media got a hold of it. They, on the same realm, not issues, but on the same realm of other players that, get it.
Former San Francisco quarterback is what you're hinting at?
Okay, you got me. So that the media blows them up. Okay, the media blows them up out of proportion. And what's my favorite saying? Teams have to figure out, is the juice worth the squeeze? But I go back to he's one of the best QBs ever in college football. And he's
the best college quarterback
right?
ever.
And you're nitpicking his arm slot? Are you kidding me? That they were fishing for ways to get rid of him simply because his star was so bright that it wasn't worth at that point in time. And I'll say this, what his values were, NFL didn't want to deal with it.
He's a Christian.
Yep.
Because he was a Christian. That's you can say it.
You
all know it.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it was.
He had 316 under his. Well, he changed it, but anyway, have you ever heard him? Dude, he. I love listening to him speak. Mm-hmm. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a good dude, man. I mean, I was rooting for him when he was with the Mets, and hoping the minors, hoping he can make the team. He just, I'll tell you this. I kind of wonder if he would have started down that path,
instead of football,
instead of trying to go to the NFL. What would have happened then? Because, I mean, guys can play. They're athletes, but by the time he got to the point where he was close enough to get a shot, he's too old, man. Nobody's going to take. He's not even Crash Davis because Crash Davis is.
Right.
I actually really
the
like
real one or the
ESPN. I like him on ESPN as with a TV guy too. I think he does a great job with that.
Speaking of old, though, Wayne Wright is not getting 200.
I told you,
ain't no way happening.
This is not. We're not even talking about the Cardinals right now. It's so damn depressing. We need some happiness.
Well,
I bet I could get free tickets now, but I'm not going.
Hey, so you talk about free tickets. Mizzou's coming to the Lou. They're playing Memphis. That's coming up in a couple weeks. I'm just saying,
September
why not just play Kansas or Illinois in those games? Come on.
Because you can beat Memphis.
They'll play Kansas. If they're going to play Kansas, it's going to be in KC.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to touch Illinois right now, though, with the way that Bielema's doing with that program. So, especially Mizzou. If they want a chance to win one of those early games,
Memphis.
They don't want Illinois. Let's go get Memphis.
That's another thing. $150. And Dylan gets to go to all the football, all the basketball, baseball, any sport. He wants to go $150 pass in. I'm like, dude, dude, you're gonna get to watch an awesome basketball team, and you could watch some teams come in to play Mizzou in football.
You're gonna call him up a month from now. Hey, how's class going? Class? What do you mean class?
I changed my schedule.
I text my brothers a picture of him walking to his dorm. I said, "Holy crap!" My brother Dave goes, "They're already headed to their first kegger. Don't worry about it." I'm like, shut up, dude.
That's funny. So, hey, Ron Rhodes says, "How do you think Zeke will do with the Patriots?" Do we want to jump into NFL talk now?
Go ahead.
Did Zeke actually sign with the Patriots? Last I heard, he just went in. Did they actually?
And
he'll be cut in a couple of weeks.
Dalvin Cook is playing for the Jets.
For the Jets, which again, trying to get your football fix. If you have Max, go watch Hard Knocks. I mean, it's only episode 2. It's
like
good.
I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but after the first episode, I went, I kind of like Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, he was
hilarious in the first one.
He is the definition. You look up California cool in the dictionary, it's his picture.
And
man.
Dude, all of his teammates seem to just think, dude, and him with Zach Wilson, the way they interact is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, I haven't seen 2 yet.
Yeah,
was that yesterday?
Yeah, it just came out yesterday. Yeah, I just watched it.
You guys must have a lot of free time. I don't have that kind of free time.
We don't have a farm to work on.
I don't even want to talk about it, man. I'm going to have some PTSD after this weekend. I got to say, I'll say it. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who lost a lot more with all those rains and stuff down south because, just the flooding and stuff was insane down in Bullinger County and Madison County.
Screwed a lot of farmers down there, didn't it?
Well, campsites, people had RVs parked. My cousin had one there, and 5 feet of water moved. A lot of damage, a lot of stuff that can't be replaced. But I don't believe there was any lives lost. But that rain overnight, and that's the thing. We go 2 months with the drought, and then next thing you know, it comes 8 inches of rain all at once. And people's lives are turned upside down. So for people who had permanent residences who were affected in businesses, especially like in Marble Hill, down where Woodland High School is, I hope that I got to replace a bunch of fence. I don't have to replace my family keepsakes and things like that. So
that's awful.
And it sucks for them. I can only speak for myself and how much it's going to suck for me this weekend. But anyway, I have a farm. Thanks for bringing that up. Now I'm
$50 an hour. I'll come down and help.
And I'll just die of heat stroke.
Okay. So I just thought I'd try.
Oh yeah, I know.
Hey, that's what you do.
$50 an hour.
You drive buses.
Gosh.
You drive
shuttles. They're shuttles.
They're shuttles. Certain people will yell at you.
He will also detail the shuttle for you.
That's what I saw.
He's a good mouse hunter.
I heard he's good with the T driver.
I have the one that'll make a man out of you. I know that.
Them things
I'm also a good electrician because apparently I did some wiring today. That was a little different. So
paint. I've heard he does some paint.
No.
On the side.
I heard he blows up. He blows up hunting campers or something.
No, I can light them on fire for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was.
That was
really
like
hot
fire. That's what you do in the country, I guess.
You got to have many skills when you own a farm.
Man.
And if you don't have them, you just got to act like you do and just roll with it because,
they got YouTube videos for everything.
I wish.
You just can't watch them down there.
You need to put up. You need to put up a camera when you're working and your dad's supervising and just put it up.
That sounds like a great idea for a commercial.
Wouldn't that be a great live feed? Just to watch Chris and Chris.
We should have Chris's dad do a
Chris
commercial.
squared.
Crisscrossed. How about that?
Next missed calls, Chris and Chris.
Chris and Chris.
No. It's a hard no on so many levels. No. Hell no. No. Probably be entertaining for everybody else. I don't feel like dealing with that kind of abuse. I can't call DFS on him now. So it is what it is. Back to accounts of life. I don't know if Zeke's going to pan out with the Patriots because he's a running back. He's an RB2 now. He's not got the same pop.
Goal line.
I mean, that's it.
I don't know if I still have doubts he's even going to make it to the regular season on a roster. He might be one of those last minute cuts at the roster.
No, look at how many backs Bill Belichick, old backs, and then he brings them to there, and they rush for 800 yards and 10 or 12 touchdowns.
All those backs that he does that though with are good with their catching the ball out of the backfield. Zeke does not catch the ball out of the backfield. He had some
big ones. I can't remember any other names.
Lawrence Maroney is the only one I can really think of that was like that.
Can't hit the broadside of a barn, so it's not necessarily Zeke's fault.
Zach, you got to be careful. There might be a Cowboy fan here or there that you could trigger.
Boo-hoo. They ain't winning anything. People. Again, you talk about GMs and owners that get in the way. Enough said. I mean, holy cow.
Talent evaluation. We could do a whole show about Jerry Jones and his need for just retiring in general. But
Jerry Jones loves him some Jerry Jones.
I know, right? He's
was their last Super Bowl Jimmy Johnson, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No,
Barry Switzer.
With Jimmy Johnson's team.
True.
Yeah.
But it was Barry Switzer.
But
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he screwed that all up.
Well, it's because he's Jerry Jones, and that's what he does. Now, I want to jump into one thing that's NFL related before we take off. And Zach has brought it up as part of our topics that I did read.
Yes.
The Michael Oher saga is taking a little twist here. So, Zach, why don't you go ahead and give us a little background?
All right. So we all know and probably have watched and loved the movie The Blind Side, talking about the story of Michael Oher. And
really, do we just need to see McVey on this? But go ahead.
I just want to see if anybody would notice that.
Zoomed in, right? But anyway, his story, being brought into the Toohey family. And so now the twists and turns are years after that, he's done with his NFL career. He's I think trying to sue the Tooheys because he's alleging that they did not officially adopt him, but instead they just had a conservatorship. And so in doing so, he is claiming that he has zero money from the movie, the movie rights, all of that, the book, because it was the movie's based on a book, all of that, they got paid, he didn't. And it has blown up. It's blown up on ESPN. It's blown up in all of the different media outlets. And so we'll see. I heard today this isn't the first time that he's brought this up and either tried to take it to court or at least, make people known about it. ESPN, they ran with it earlier this week. So it'll be interesting to see what winds up happening. But either way, it is just a horrible situation to go from this movie that wins, Sandra Bullock, I think, an Oscar, and people are bashing her now, saying she should be giving back the Oscar.
It's her fault.
Yeah, it's her fault.
The story was wrong. It's Bullock's fault. What the people?
No.
People in this world are stupid. Stupid.
So Hey, it's because she didn't properly portray the character, instead of being all sweet and everything, it should have been no, we're just going to take your money because this is what really happened. No. It is not Sandra Bullock's fault. Sandra Bullock is.
I'm sorry, actress. I just kind of went off the deep end, but come on.
It's so dumb.
What in the...
You're right. It's stupid. Why do people complain? Now, I got to comment on Michael Oher. First off, you mean to tell me that all these years, and I know we discussed this at lunch, all these years you didn't know that you weren't getting money from this, if this is in fact true? Get out of here. There's no freaking way he's been okay. But there's no way he's not, if he has not even checked on any of this, on any part of this, whether it's the money from the book, movie, whatever, and then his own, these people who brought him into the home, once you get old enough to find these things out and you have the means when he made it to the NFL to hire an attorney to check on these things, you mean to tell me he didn't have a single freaking clue until he's done retired playing? This is why I think he is full of absolute donkey crap. There is no freaking way. And if he didn't, he's the stupidest person that's ever laced them up next to Jamarcus Russell. So there's Jamarcus Russell and Michael Oher, because there's no way that's possible. I just don't see that. I think it's insanely crazy. My take.
I don't know. I mean, we live in the world.
He's never been happy about the movie.
No,
he's never been happy, and he's been very public about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not happy about the movie?
How they portrayed him. He said
it lost him a contract. It lost him contracts.
Really?
Because they portrayed him as being dumb, and then he couldn't understand a NFL playbook.
And I know they through the movie that the family taught him football, when he says in reality, no, I've been an athlete. I've played football, basketball, and we get it. We know every story, whether it's Disney, Remember the Titans, or any of these other movies that are based on a true story. They have to Hollywoodize the movie. They have to. They have to do that with the script. But they have to take some freedoms in order to make it a movie worthy type of thing.
Okay. Well, supposedly, wait.
Supposedly, I heard that Remember the Titans is like way off base too.
Part of it,
completely way off base.
Part of it.
It is.
Rudy even.
Rudy's really bad.
I knew that was off base.
Okay, so he's saying that the movie portrayed him as being dumb and lost him a contract. If you didn't know these people didn't have that, they've been keeping this from you, and this is how it's set up, and you had the means to do it. It only furthers my point that he's stupid, and the movie got it right.
I'll go.
I knew as soon as you started talking, I knew where it was going.
I'll say this though, right? In his defense, if we're going to play devil's advocate, why would you assume that? Wouldn't you assume, hey, these people took me in, they said they were going to adopt me. He even said, and again, this is part of the story, he asked at the young age, well, what's a conservatorship and how's that different from adoption? And they said, well, it's basically the same thing. We just need you to sign these papers. Now, that's his account of things. Again, I think like any story or any issue, there's his side, there's her side, and then there's the truth, right?
Probably.
And so are we ever really going to know? I don't know. Because
so many things I want to say about that, but go ahead.
The parts of the story that I had read is the Tuohys actually, they had a lot of money even before Michael Oher came in. The dad apparently owned a lot of franchises for fast food restaurants.
Why'd they freeze him out on all this then?
But and I think they said part of it was a way to protect for what could have been, because they had no idea he was going to be an NFL type player. He was a really good high school athlete. They just didn't know. And from what I've gathered at times is that was part of a way to protect themselves from not knowing.
Maybe they were still mad about him wrecking the car with their son in it.
If that actually happened.
If that actually
did it happen?
Did that happen?
Was he too dumb to drive? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
gas brake? Which one?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm just saying
there's a third pedal here. I don't know what to do.
Hey, if you're driving my dad's 72 Chevy, there is a third, and it's the bright light and the dimmer. It's on the floor, baby.
So it'll be interesting if it ever reaches court. It'll be interesting if it is this.
It's already going to be played out in the court of public.
Well,
opinion
okay.
Is
this yet another story? Is this yet another story that whether it's ESPN or whoever that what? Because again, it's divisive. I mean, it's divisive. Let's be honest. It's now going into race. So
you just had to, Zach. You just had to.
So I don't. Who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to wind up happening? It's definitely an interesting story.
Well, here's the funny part.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, Jason said a while ago how much he loves Disney. This is just another one of those Disney movies now that are just shot all to hell because of the truth coming out. Maybe Disney's just really batting 1,000 right now. I mean, you talk about hits from all sides. How many billions of dollars have they lost in revenue since the pandemic, since Disney Plus has come out? Now all these movies, people are punching holes in them. And well, it's just really bad. I mean, maybe if you had the same message coming across from the get-go and not change it to kind of meet, the cultural shift and some ideology, crap doesn't happen to you. Good things happen to you.
You think Walt Disney's doing some flips in his grave?
Somersaults. Somersaults. Make sure you don't have an agenda when you're trying to teach kids stuff. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. Just don't have an agenda.
Oh, there is no agenda.
Whatever agenda that is. No, not with Walt Disney, but with the people running his company. Yeah, a little bit.
What do anybody on the show know about agendas?
We don't.
Hey, I know how to make one. They just don't know how to follow, right?
Well, we just get a little bit
can't
off,
work for Disney,
off
right?
the rail.
Hey, it's what it's called. It's off the rail for a reason.
I never saw Jim Powers watching our show tonight, a loser.
Nope, not at all.
He's busy at a rules meeting, I guess. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Come on.
Did they change it from 3 touches to 4 before it can go back over? Is that what they?
Well, if we're doing something like the taking away the 1-on-1 in basketball, I mean,
that was on the agenda. We didn't talk about it.
Hey,
no. I just said that's food for thought because that was brought up about.
What would be the agenda? Sorry.
What would be the equivalent to doing that in other sports?
Hey, I'm going to tell you this though.
Without asking anyone is kind of shady. But go ahead.
Well, if I'm making a rule for volleyball, I'm saying you all are wearing sweatpants. You ain't wearing those shorts anymore. No,
those aren't shorts.
Whatever. Hey, No, you're wearing sweatpants. No. If I had a daughter, she's wearing sweatpants and she's playing volleyball.
I'm not touching this one either. I've got a daughter.
I have a daughter
too.
To
play the sport with pants and socks.
What'd you say, Kevin?
I got 2 daughters. I want them to play the sport where they wear pants when it's 112 degrees outside.
Man.
Yeah, I want to play volleyball. Nope,
not happening.
I think you're going
to play. That was out of nowhere, by the way. I wasn't expecting that. And I have I'm going to have to do the coaches speak of no comment.
On to Cincinnati.
Oh man,
I'm not touching that subject.
Hey,
we were talking about rule changes, and Zach
that would be a good rule.
Zach goes straight to wardrobe.
Hey,
I mean, Blair's not here, drama king.
The guy,
I mean, go on. You're going to
George
wardrobe.
Talking wardrobe.
I know, right? The fashion king over here. So
yeah.
Anyway, just we can discuss that at another time. But not what you said, but about the rule changes and different things. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I didn't even realize we went this long. And
I was wondering. I kept looking at the clock. I'm like, man, it's 1:54.
I know. I'm thinking, man, it's bedtime.
But I didn't want to go. Hey guys, we need to quit. But
Hey guys, we need to quit. Is that better? We're gonna wrap this show up.
Hey, you know what? This Zoom stuff right here is all right. I don't have to go anywhere. I can sit in my own base.
We don't even know if Jarvis has pants on right now.
I do. I have shorts.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I was wondering if Jarvis was wearing some of those volleyball shorts.
Guys, you guys
to
are
bed.
just wrong. Hey, I would show you the hole in my roof, but it ain't there no more.
Jason, would you stop trying to show us holes and things in your house?
Oh my God, you're so wrong.
Let's talk about the hole in your house.
Leave my ceiling alone.
Don't say it.
There
Don't
we
say
go.
it. Don't say it.
Ceiling.
Leave your basement hole alone.
Yeah,
it's all good.
No, I just don't leave.
Well, it's
first off, you gotta go in your back door to see the hole, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I needed some money, so I guess I'm gonna have to rent it out again. Sorry, Dylan, you're gone. Maybe my next friend that's gonna get a divorce can move in.
Are you talking about hey,
the divorce cave?
Are you talking about renting out your hole? Is that what
the basement, bro? The basement.
It's just the way you said it. I didn't want to say it. I would just let it go.
And you're upset about me talking about shorts?
I said the basement, bro. Whoa.
Oh man. Well, that's been a fun show. It'll be the last one now, probably.
You've been saying that for how many years?
I know, right?
Well, that's the last one for thanks to Zach.
Thanks a lot, Zach. Ruined it for everybody.
Okay, all right.
You
brought it up, Miller.
I don't know what you're speaking of.
Right.
All right, we're out.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully see you guys next week. If all goes well, maybe we'll be on location somewhere. Maybe we'll be right here. But, anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in and have a great week. And God bless. See y'all later.